welcome. Today, folks, I would like to discuss Paul Curry's Worlds Beyond. I bought this book from a retailer, from Penguin. Then I found out that, as a wholesale, as a dealer myself, these are available. I can get these, so if you're interested in purchasing them, let me know. Although I have seen them for sale on eBay for less than the wholesale price. I don't know how people sell them that way, but check it out, folks. You can get this affordably right now. Now, that's not going to last. Whoever's doing that cannot have a great supply of it, so they're going to go pretty quickly. I do have them for sale if you're interested. But let me give you a little bit of information about Paul Curry and see if I can convince you why this is a valuable read. Paul Curry was born in 1917. He crossed over in 1986, and he had one prolific magic career in between. He was never a full-time magician. I love that. I love it when somebody devotes their life to magic, but they're not full-time. He was the vice president of Blue Cross Insurance Company of New York. He was the vice president throughout his entire career, but he was a creative genius. We have so much to be thankful for when it comes to Paul Curry. Let me start out with the effect that most impacted me, and then an effect that has most impacted the magic community. Paul Curry invented the sliding knot. And by the way, the sliding knot is in the book. The entire explanation of how he did it. I remember watching, I believe it was 1979. Paul invented the trick in 1979. I don't know if Doug Henning performed it that year, but on his television special, Doug Henning. Now picture this. I'm going to try to find the video. I'll try to put the link below so you can see it, but here it is. Doug has a fairly substantial length of rope up on the stage. I believe, if I'm remembering this correctly, I believe he gets a spectator up out of the audience, and he has a pair of scissors, and he runs it along the length of the rope. Spectator says stop. He stops here. He cuts the rope cleanly in half. You can see that the pieces fall. He's got two pieces of rope now, one going this way, one going that way. He ties these ends together. Now the rope's sitting here with a knot in it, and he slides the knot from here to here and then unties it. Holy mackerel. I saw that. It completely blew me away. I was used to seeing cut and restored rope. I was not used to seeing a sliding knot. Like, oh, wow. So Paul Curry invented the method that Doug Henning used in that television special, and until now, that method has not been revealed. It's in the book. I will tell you this, if you are working solo, it is not a practical method. However, you can adapt it if you are working solo. Now, two people contributed to this effect. Jim Steinmeyer came along and created a method for doing the same effect that a solo performer could do. And I much prefer Jim Steinmeyer's method is my favorite method. Then you have Pavel coming along. I just recently sold a Pavel walking knot effect. Now these things are, you can, by the way, there's a rip-off of the Pavel walking knot that's available on the market today. I don't want to encourage you to buy that, and the reason I don't is because Pavel is still making his, and I think you should get the effect from the maker. I think it's important to do that because these people are making their living providing a service to the magic community. Now I know what you're probably thinking, Dave. I can buy the ripoff for a fraction of the price. Yeah, you can. I mean, what if I wrote a book, and segments of that book were copied and resold? I mean, I don't know what the intellectual property laws are when it comes to this kind of thing. I don't know. Uh, but I just think it's the right thing to do to buy it from Pavel. Anyway, I sold one. Pavel came up with an entirely different method, and again, it's not my favorite method. I prefer the Jim Steinmeyer method, but the basic effect was Paul Curry's. Okay, he gets the credit. It's his effect, and then in 1942. At the age of 25, Paul Curry introduces the magic world to Out of This World. Out of This World. Oh my goodness. Out of This World is probably one of the 10 greatest card effects of all time. In Out of This World, a deck is mixed, shuffled. You can see that the red cards and the blue cards or black cards are pretty well mixed together. Spectator separates the cards one at a time. When they're done, they're face down. When they're done, they're turned over, and the red cards have been separated from the black cards. That's the basic effect. Darren Brown, I don't know if he was the first to do this, but Darren Brown on one of his television specials did the same effect with photographs of living and dead people. You saw the photograph of the person. On the back side of the photograph, it indicated whether the person was alive or dead. Person separates the card, the images. When the images are turned over, all the dead have been separated from all the living. It brings so much more meaning to the separation when it's done that way. There is a marketed effect that I have adapted to my own show. It's called White Star Line. I believe you can still get this effect. What I have done is I've taken the images, and by the way, let me explain what White Star Line takes images of people who survived and who perished on the Titanic, and basically does the same effect. Paul Curry's Out of This World with images of those who survived and those who perished on the Titanic. This is part of my show today. I do this effect. I do it with large cards of the images on them, and I use an entirely different method than what came with White Star Line, or what Paul Curry does, or what Darren Brown does. I use an entirely different method. In my method, the backs of the images are completely black. So you can't tell one image from the other. The front of the image has the image of the person and whether or not they survived or perished on the Titanic. Then I have two spectators helping me separate. At the end, the living and the dead have been separated. Those who survived separated from those who perished. But the basic idea of this kind of magical separation is Paul Curry's brainchild, and the original effect is explained in this book, Out of This World. On March 12th of 1977, the Academy of Magical Arts and Sciences presented Paul Curry with a Creative Fellowship Award. So he was recognized by the magic fraternity as the genius that he is. This book is filled with his effects, his brainchild, his genius. I believe this is a book. Now, he loved cards, and I'd say that probably 65 to 75% of this book is card magic, just so that you know going in. But I believe this book should be on every magician's shelf. Paul Curry's Worlds Beyond. Please check it out. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Please comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much. Have a great day. I will see you next time.